Welcome to Soma Dao Qigong. My name is Dr. Michael Smith, and I'm the founder and developer of the Soma Dao Qigong process. In this video, I'm going to share with you what we will learn and practice together in Level 1. I've included the following combination of skills and practices in Level 1 to ensure that you have experience in as many aspects of Qigong practice as possible. Level 1 of the Soma Dao program includes the following skills and practices. The foundation of Qigong in most schools is standing practice. In this practice, you stand with your knees bent. You may be leaning, turning, stretching, and making repetitive fluid gestures. On the outside of these practices, most of these exercises look fairly easy, but on the inside, there is a lot happening, and there is a mirror of the universe seeking balance, vitality, and inner peace. These practices include stretches, moving meditations, emotional and energetic release practices, and many opportunities to release tension or stuck or what we call stagnant qi. When seated, you may choose to go into some more careful versions of the exercises you do standing, or you may find yourself deeply immersed in breath work or other internal awareness practices. Most Qigong classes focus on traditional Qigong forms, which we'll be studying in Level 2. In Level 1, we'll be learning some elements of the traditional forms that we'll be learning to develop the movement skills and body awareness to prepare yourself for all of the many Qigong forms we will be learning in future levels of the Soma Dao process. The subtle qualities of each breath is an invitation into meditative presence and energetic healing. In Level 1, our breath work will focus on natural breathing, reverse breathing, incremental breathing, some basic tension and trauma release breath work, and we'll begin our practice of what is called embryonic breathing, which is a Taoist alchemic practice. One of the reasons people practice things like Qigong and yoga are because of an embodied awareness that we develop, or a somatic awareness. I like the term somatic mindfulness because it reflects the original practice of Qigong, which was actually called Dao Yin. Dao Yin was actually developed by the indigenous people of Asia as a form of personal healing, fitness, awareness, meditation, and also a form of prayer and communion with nature. The somatic aspect of Qigong or Dao Yin focuses on how illness, trauma, and chronic distress can be held in your body as an instinctual, visceral, or emotional, or even existential memory. Finding and releasing these energetic wounds, these painful thought forms, is the foundation of Qigong or Dao Yin and Taoist shamanic healing. In both Qigong and yoga, a lot of time is spent on the floor, sitting, stretching, lying down, holding various forms of stretches and postures that help you actually tone your core and, of course, improve your flexibility. Flexibility is a sign of youthful vigor and a happy body. Regular stretching can improve your circulation, promote complete tissue repair, and help stimulate nerve growth and repair, which is really important as we get older. Core strength is so important in today's world of living in chairs. Keeping your core muscles toned and active is a great way to feel and look a lot younger. It is also a very important part of having a safe and a very thorough Qigong experience in your practice. Meditation can be practiced almost anywhere. In Qigong, there are forms of meditation we do standing, seated, walking, and even lying down. Some forms of Taoist meditation focus on stillness, while other forms actually focus on rhythmic and sort of fluid movement. In Level 1, you will be introduced to Shaolin Chan meditation, which is the origin of Zen Buddhism. We will learn to combine our breathwork skills with this very focused form of meditative stillness. In Level 1, you will also be introduced to Gong, or the internal cultivation practices of Taoism. In Level 1, we will begin the journey of studying what is called embryonic breathing. Embryonic breathing begins with awareness of your dantian, which are energy centers like chakras. And in Qigong practice, at first, we focus on 3. So our Neigong practice and our miracle breathing will begin as an introduction to those aspects of Qigong. Like any art or skill, it's important to have a foundational understanding in the theory and principles of what you're studying. And with Qigong, it's no different. Qigong has been around for at least 5,000 years. If you want a deep and complete understanding and experience of Qigong, there are some theories, concepts, and terminology that you will need to explore. As you progress through your Soma Dao Qigong training about traditional Chinese medicine, shamanic healing, and the indigenous wisdom of Taoism. I want to begin by saying my motivation in teaching Qigong in this way is to help people develop a personal practice. And like anyone else, I'm limited to what I've been taught. So what I'm going to share with you right now are the elements or a series of relationships that I was taught to have anytime I have a Qigong practice. So I'm going to share how I was taught to organize my practice, but I also want to say that I've been practicing formally for 35 years and informally for about 42 years, and I am still inspired just on the journey of my life with my Qigong practice, and probably more importantly, after this long, I'm still surprised by what I learn. So as I share with you how to organize a practice, I just want to ensure you that you're going to really enjoy Qigong wherever and however you learn it. In what I would call a classic standing or moving Qigong class, I was taught to always attend to 8 specific relationships, or as many of those relationships as I could, depending on the practice. So here they are. Number 1 is to open to a conscious practice. By that, I mean an awareness of a sacred opportunity and an awareness that you're actually entering into a form of sacred ceremony. 2 is to connect with the universal energies that are around you. Again, that ancient practice of Dao Yin was focused on connecting with the land, the sky, the sun and moon, the seasons, the weather, and whatever's happening right now in nature. As you consciously enter your practice, you can also consciously enter into a deeper and more subtle and tangible relationship with all of the natural energies that are around you. And enter into a more experiential relationship with what we refer to as spirit and the earth. 3 is to feel into your life and connect to your present internal energetic state. Now, if you're not very familiar with your energetic experience, that's going to take some time, but with a bit of practice, that becomes almost a turning point from living your outside life and then going right in to the experiential qualities of that day's Qigong practice. It's kind of like opening a door. We call this process De Qi, and it's about sensing in and accepting your present inner physical, inner emotional, somatic, and your existential experience. Number 4, now that you're connected to your energetic state, is to actually explore it and express it in as many different ways as you choose to. Many of these practices originated as forms of prayer, communion, and healing. These practices are about state shift, or about reorienting your present physical state, emotional state, somatic state, and existential state. Consistently being able to shift your state in this way is what gives people a kind of spiritual confidence. Relationship number 5 is going to focus on your present physical capabilities, but also your relationship with longevity. We often refer to this practice as yang sheng, or to cultivate your vitality. These exercises can get very specific, and they are designed to tone and challenge every muscle, every bone, every joint, and every nerve, and in a way, every reflex in your body. There are also other practices that are similar that have a lot to do with experiencing what we would call qi sensations and to cultivate that more subtle energetic awareness within your body. And it is with that qi awareness or qi sensation that helps us find the confidence to move towards old karmic wounds, traumas, and other places that need more attention, as well as places that may feel tired or weak, or as we age, places in our body we want to bring more vitality. Number 6 is an opportunity to move into a form of breath work and movement and release that actually focuses on the kind of tension you hold because of an injury, but in a very precise way that you actually would draw. As well as the kind of tension you may hold because you carry a lot of stress in your life, or the very specific ways that you may be holding trauma within your nervous system and your fascia. So we begin opening those up with our previous relationship in a mechanical way, in a kind of yoga, qigong, martial arts way. But now the relationship is going more into very therapeutic, sacred healing relationship with, again, those kinds of tensions and the release of how we hold them and how we hold on to and release trauma. The 7th relationship that I try and attend to, and I encourage people to attend to in their Qigong practice, is to work with what we call Gong, or inner cultivation. Now this may be focusing on breath work and connection and perhaps cleansing of your dantian, more deep and controlled breath work to train yourself in those more advanced skills. The 8th relationship is to find a balance between qualities we call wuji and taiji. And those are very subtle energetic states, I would say. But the 8th relationship is to make sure you have a very conscious ending to your Qigong practice. And that when you kind of move through the end of your practice, you have a tangible relationship with feeling unified with all things, but also with a sense of discernment and aliveness and kind of alertness, if you will. In a classic seated Qigong practice, you'll be doing most of the same things that I just described. It's just more likely that the focus would be on internal practices like breathwork and Gong. Although again, when you're doing seated meditation or seated Qigong, you can always do the bigger body practices as well. In a classic floor work or mat work practice, you will be usually focusing almost more like it's a fitness class, although there are still opportunities if you were to go into a lying meditation or a kind of seated meditation into the more spiritual and existential practices of Qigong. But with the floor work, mostly it's about deep, thorough stretching and deep release of inner tension and trauma. There's some very unique things that happen to the nervous system when you're on the floor, when you're stretching, when you're releasing, and when you're relaxing. And if you're trying to release a kind of trauma that you've held in your body for a long time, being on the floor almost encourages people to really let go of things and in a way to allow ourselves to kind of fall into something that we trust. And that's just a normal part or an initial part for most people who are trying to release trauma. So floor work has many levels to it, but for the most part it's going to be focused on physically stretching out your body and opening your joints, and or lying on the floor and becoming extremely still. Does that list of skills, practices, and experiences interest you? If you are interested in studying in the Soma Dao Qigong program, I would be honored to guide you and get you started in your journey with Qigong practice. I am so grateful that I have spent decades studying and practicing Qigong. I've had the good fortune and the honor to study with several very high-level teachers, and I'm not saying that to sound self-important. I'm just saying that because I actually have a lot to share, and I love to teach. In fact, I have over 20 years experience teaching at the post-secondary level. I can assure you that the pacing, the process, the content are all easy to follow. There will be many opportunities for fun and humor. Remember, people play Qigong. I can also assure you that the development of the physical skills, the pace at which we get into the healing practices, they're all going to build on each other in a very natural and organic way. Keep in mind that you're going to be doing this at your own pace, so there should never be a sense of pressure or impatience or expectation. We play Qigong. Although some aspects of Qigong can be serious, the part of us that needs to carry those things will eventually become, if not already, need to be the part of us that is joyful and loving and forgiving and compassionate. Playful. I want to make sure I mention playful. because that is the way Qigong feels the more you practice it, is a very joyful and present kind of play. If you are interested in this opportunity, please go to somadaoqigong.com and sign up for level 1, or if you want to communicate with me, leave me a message, and you can also check out the other courses and online services that I offer. Thank you for watching the video, and I hope you go out and learn Qigong from someone, somewhere, somehow. It is worth it.